Prevention with Southern Mom, and today I'm going to talk to you about lice prevention. So it's that time of year again, it's back to school, and whether you think about it before school or there's an outbreak at the beginning of school or the middle or the end, at some point, more than likely, you're going to hear about somebody in your child's class or your child getting lice. It's just bound to happen. My son is in 5th grade and my girls are in 1st grade. Last year, right before they started kindergarten, they were still in preschool. There was an outbreak actually at their preschool, which led me to do some research on how to prevent my girls catching lice from somebody in their class. So that's when I really started doing some heavy research on lice, and it definitely doesn't matter whether you're an adult or a kid or a boy or a girl. Actually, lice prefers clean hair over dirty hair. So since I know that lice is contagious, it's something that if your child is close to another child that has lice, they can definitely hop over into your child's hair. So when I found out that this was even possible, I definitely wanted to put something in my kids' hair to help prevent this from happening. So I purchased Fairy Tale's REPEL shampoo and conditioning spray last year, and I just barely ran out right before school started, and I bought a new set of shampoo and conditioning spray. My girls never got lice, and I was able to feel a little bit more comfortable sending them back to school knowing that hopefully this would repel the lice. And so here it is like a year later, and I can say that this stuff really does work. So both of these have rosemary, citronella, and tea tree oil. And those scents are what's gonna help prevent lice from hopping over onto your child's head. Nothing I'm gonna show you in this video is sponsored at all whatsoever. It's just something that I used and I feel very strongly about if you're looking for lice prevention. Also, this is gluten, soy, dairy, and nut-free. And it's extremely gentle on your child's head. Fallon has extremely sensitive skin. She's had eczema since she was born. I definitely have to put gentle shampoo and conditioner and things like that in her hair. She always uses this Suave Kids sensitive shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. It's hypoallergenic, it has no parabens, it's very, very mild. So basically what I do every time I wash the girls' hair is I mix a little bit of this with about half a teaspoon of Fairy Tale shampoo, and that's just how I always wash their hair. It's very gentle, so it's just part of our bathing routine. And then whenever I get out of the tub, I use this as their detangling spray, but it's also gonna leave those scents in their hair to help prevent lice from hopping over into their hair. If you're watching this and your child already has lice, I definitely suggest that you start using this as soon as possible. I'll leave a link down below to all of this, but I'll also leave a link down below to some lice kits that can help you actually get rid of the lice. So another step to lice prevention is to make sure that everybody in the house has their own separate brush. So when I saw these brushes at Justice last year that had the initials on it, it's a perfect way to determine whose brush is who. So Fallon has an F on hers, and then Presley has a P on hers. And then I just make sure to not use their brushes. I think definitely using their own brushes and cleaning the brushes is also gonna help prevent any spread of lice. My girls are in separate classes. If Presley happened to contract lice from somebody in her class and then come home and share her brush with Fallon, then she's spreading that over to Fallon. I just want to make sure that we're taking all steps possible to preventing any kind of a lice spread here in the house. So another thing I do once a week, religiously, it has to be done once a week around here because we have a lot of hair and I'm using their hairbrushes all of the time, and those girls are getting sweaty. They have recess and PE every day at school. 3 days a week they're over at the gym doing tumbling and cheer. They're outside doing activities. Their heads are getting sweaty and oily and disgusting, and hair is just gross. And so it's just really important for me to clean all of our hairbrushes at least once a week. So there's different ways that people clean their hairbrushes. I'm just gonna tell you how I clean our hairbrushes every week. I use a pan like this. It's just a clear baking pan. I just primarily use this one for cleaning brushes. I don't bake out of it or anything like that because that would really gross me out. So I start off with their hairbrushes and I grab a comb and I go through the teeth of the brush and try to pull out as much hair as possible. So you want your whole brush to be completely clean of all of the hair. See, that's like totally gross. But before you clean your hairbrush, you want to make sure that there's absolutely no hair on the brush. So once you've taken all of the hair out of the brush, I like to pour about 1.5 cups of this apple cider vinegar into the dish. Then I take about 1 cup of baking soda and put that into the dish. Now, I happen to have just run out of baking soda last week when I was cleaning the brushes, so I don't have any today. I'm only gonna use the apple cider vinegar today. I'll also put baking soda in this dish as well. If you're wanting to go ahead and clean out your brushes today because you're watching this video and you're totally grossed out and you don't have apple cider vinegar or baking soda, you can also use dishwashing soap. This works really well. Use Dawn or Palmolive from time to time. Also shampoo, you can use that. But I just primarily use the apple cider and the baking soda. So after it's been soaking just for a couple of minutes, you'll notice if there's any hair that you didn't get off before, now is a good time to go ahead and get that off. So I've only had it soaking for a couple of minutes. You can see here I was able to get some gross hair off there. And I'm gonna go ahead and scrub it while it's in here. This one's a little bit harder to get. It's been about 2 weeks since I've cleaned my wet brush, which by the way, this is my absolute favorite brush for the kids and for me. If you're ever looking for a brush that's not gonna hurt their head, wet brush, this is awesome. These are really good, the ones I got at Justice, but I don't think these are the original wet brush, but the ones that actually say wet brush right here, these are my favorite kind of brushes to use. I use them on myself and I use them on the girls. So, oh my gosh, this is so gross. But look at all the hair that I just got off there. That is absolutely disgusting. But this is definitely my favorite brush. I have this in like 3 different colors. So for me and the girls, I brush through our hair first with our wet brush. If there's still any tangles left in our hair, which with our thick hair, there usually is like a couple of tangles that are really hard to get out. I have a flat brush that I use right after this one to make sure that I have like the really hard to get tangles out. If you're not cleaning your hairbrushes regularly, you're just redepositing the dirt and the oil and the product and all of the gunk that's on your hairbrushes. You're just reapplying that into your hair. And so if your hair really isn't looking that good, or if your child's hair isn't looking that great, that could possibly be it. It could be just getting full of oils and hair products. So even as a non-lice prevention, I suggest cleaning your brushes at least once a month. If you have a lot of hair and you use a lot of product, I would use them more often. So another thing I always make sure to clean is hair accessories. So you need to pretty much think about anything that's going to touch your child's head. So for my girls, they wear their hair in ponytails quite a bit. So ponytail, little hair ties are important. If you use these little clippies when you're fixing their hair at all, bobby pins or these little hair clips that go in on the side, any of those type things. How I clean mine is I have one of these little netted laundry bags. I think I got this at the dollar store for 2 for $1. So what I do is I put all of their hair accessories inside of this little bag and zip it up and then toss it in the washer. So I try to remember to do that about once a week if I can. So I have a little container that I keep all of their hair ties in that they use through the week, and then at the very end of the week, or maybe it's the next week, it could be like every other week, I put all of those hair ties in this and then wash it so that way I know that it's nice and clean the next time I put it in their hair. Because as often as you don't think about it, these get pretty gross, and it's also something that you're probably sharing. If you have girls in your family, I mean, I use these, both of my girls use these, we could easily be reusing and spreading oil and gunk and just disgusting hair product that's in our hair. So definitely this is something else I make sure to clean as often as possible. So another thing you need to think about if you have girls and they wear hair bows. So my girls kind of have a hair bow obsession, and yeah, they wear them pretty much every day. And so that's definitely something. At the end of the day, I put their hair bows to the side, and what I try to do is when they come home every day, I pull their hair bows out of their hair. And if I have time, I go ahead and just clean them individually right then. If not, I set them to the side by the sink, and I make sure that I'm always keeping them a little bit clean. And basically what I do is this little metal part right here is what I clean, and I just take a little toothbrush and I just kind of clean in there with a little bit of dishwashing liquid. Okay, so now that I've got this towel down, I'm gonna go through and I'm just gonna do one for y'all, but I just put a little, oops, that's way too much. So I just put a little bit of this dishwashing soap on this toothbrush, and I just flip this over, and very gently I brush this. Oops. I just kind of open the clip and I try to get both sides in there real good. Then I just take a towel and dab in there to try to dry it off, because we don't want it to rust or anything like that. And so I just do that each time the girls wear a hair bow, just to keep them clean and just to be safe. So if you're watching this and you have a boy that has lice, I definitely recommend washing their caps. You can put it on gentle in the washing machine, or you can hand wash them. So another thing I do weekly that I would suggest is once a week, make sure that you're cleaning your child's sheets and pillowcases. I mean, it's probably something you already know, but it's definitely something that if one of your children has lice and you don't know it yet, and they're sharing the same bed and the same pillows and the same sheets, it's very possible that it can spread. So the more often that you're washing those sheets and keeping them clean and getting that oil and gunk off, then the less likely they would spread it if they did have lice. So basically anything that your kids are going to be sharing with one another, that's something you need to think about. That's going to be a spreading ground if one of them has lice. Definitely educating your child is important. Make sure that they know when you're at school, don't share headphones with somebody at school. Don't wear their hair bow or their hair clip. There's been a few times that I've seen Fallon pick up hair ties at school, and she has them on her arm as a bracelet, and I've made sure to remind her, don't pick up other people's hair accessories. You don't know what is on that hair band. And not only at school, but anywhere you're at. You could be at a doctor's office and sitting on a comfy couch, and that couch could have lice living on there. One thing that I have read online is to not worry about bagging up your kids' toys and furniture. Now, I would go ahead and get these things away from your children, but to bag them up for weeks and weeks, lice can only live up to 48 hours after they've fallen off your child's head. So definitely things that they're sharing, you know, just keep an eye on that kind of thing. And hopefully these tips were helpful to you and you're able to keep those nasty little bugs away from your kid's head and from your head. If you enjoyed this video and it was something that was helpful for you, please give me a thumbs up down below. Are you already doing some of the things that I've suggested today? If you have any new tips that I haven't already talked about today, definitely let me know down below in the comments. I love when I hear you guys talking down below and giving each other tips and tricks. It's so great. I love being able to talk to you guys from all over the world, and you all have the best ideas. So let me know down below if there's anything I missed or if you learned anything new. So that's all I have for now. I'll see you in the next video. Have a blessed day.